G'day everybody, Sean from Bourbon Brothers here. I hope you're well. We're here with our May tasting videos. The first bourbon we're going to look at is a Sonoma, west of Kentucky Bourbon No. 2. This is Sonoma County Distilling Company's second west of Kentucky bourbon, produced using a different mash bill to their first release. This one was made from 70% corn, 25% wheat, and just 5% malted barley, so it's a wheated bourbon. Doesn't come with an age statement, and it comes in at 47.5 alcohol by volume. Aged in small barrels for a short period of time, it carries that craft whiskey profile, stronger than most of the young craft whiskies I've had to date. Sonoma County Distilling was founded in Northern California by San Francisco native Adam Spiegel in 2010. West of Kentucky No. 2 is the distillery's second in a series of annual releases. It's double distilled in alembic stills by direct flame, which requires quite the watchful eye. The uneven heat produced by a central flame results in a more distinctive and more textured whiskey. But unlike modern steam-heated stills, they're labour intensive and require more care in order to avoid burning the mash. The bourbon is aged in small, new charred oak barrels for over a year before being transferred to used whiskey barrels for further mellowing. When handled well, that can really add some interesting toasty notes. It's a dedicated craft approach reflected in other aspects at Sonoma County Distilling, which Spiegel rightfully considers a grain-to-glass operation, where milling, mashing, fermentation and even bottling are all done in-house. There are at least two versions of West of Kentucky that have been released. This blend was specially created for Australian importers Californian Dreamers. It was aged and then hand-bottled with zero chill filtration. The smaller barrels help speed the maturation, while old wood aging ensures the spirit is not over-oaked and given extra time to integrate and oxidise. You could think of West of Kentucky as California's take on traditional bourbon. It's a wheated style that starts with 70% unmalted yellow corn from the Midwest, followed by unmalted Canadian winter wheat as the secondary grain. The other 5% is malted barley from Wyoming. The high corn content references the forerunner and kissing cousin of bourbon, straight corn whiskey, defined as having a recipe or mash bill with a minimum of 81% corn. So it's quite a young bourbon, and you can sort of trace the origins of young bourbons back to Stitzel-Weller when they had to restart after Prohibition. They put out their Carolina Club 1-month-old bourbon, followed by a 3-month-old to get the cash flow coming in. They followed that up with a 6-month-old and a 1-year-old, which was succeeded by an 18-month-old Kentucky Oaks. Version of these CC and KO whiskies stayed in market until they could release a 4-year-old because they knew what it takes to hit a quality bourbon character. Local, small and new only takes you so far, and it doesn't last forever. After Prohibition, when Stitzel-Weller had to start from scratch, they chose a wheated mash bill because it tasted good at younger ages than a mash bill using rye as a flavour grain. Though that's not all it takes to make a young whiskey taste good, grain, milling technique, distilling techniques, wood choice, water and location all play big factors when it's young and the raw spirit is shining. But let's cut to the chase. I'm not a huge fan of the Sonoma West of Kentucky Bourbon No. 2. The young craft whiskey profile of raw wood, raw grain and spirity sweetness dominates to the point that it can overwhelm and be hard to taste anything else. It's raw, it's punchy, and any other flavours or aromas are so topical and light that they can disappear the moment you shift your attention somewhere else. A few drops of water might help this one. So that's a little bit about this bourbon. Let's give it a shot. Probably a light to medium caramel. Not great depth on the legs, which you'd expect from a younger bourbon. So on the nose you get grains and a spirity vanilla, some oak, cinnamon, light bits of bread and a little bit of lemon in there. On that palate you get grains and young wood, and that spirity vanilla again with cinnamon, some bread and marzipan to go along with it. And the finish, it's a medium kind of chalky fade of oak, grain, butterscotch and biscuits. Not as balanced as it could be, it's got a medium body and a hot feel. It feels young, and it is, and it probably needs just a little more time in the barrel. But that's our Sonoma County, west of Kentucky, Bourbon No. 2. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you're enjoying your journey. Cheers. G'day everybody, Sean from Bourbon Brothers here with your May tasting videos. The first bourbon we're going to look at is the Sonoma.
It's going to be a good night.
Sonoma.
No, I like Sonoma.
You. Alright, here we go. It's not as balanced as it could be. It's got a medium bottom. It's not as balanced as it could be. It's a medium bottom. Why am I even saying that?
I don't know. What's the word? You go.
Body. Bottom's coming out.